All right, and we are live. Welcome everybody to this week's Gamma Quadrant stream. We're glad you've all decided to join us. So, as you may remember, the crew recently coming off of the mission that took them aboard an alien craft called the Tracer, returned to Luna Bravo Station, where they were given 2 weeks worth of downtime. And so where we're going to be picking up is we're going to be picking up following that 2 weeks of downtime. And so just a quick heads up for everybody. If you have not already done so, please do hit that follow button. It really means a lot. We really appreciate it. It helps us to get our numbers up, get more of a presence, and get more people watching the stream. So, please do it. We appreciate it. So, without any further ado, I'm going to kick it over to the crew. And here we go. Hello, crew. How are you guys today?
Awesome.
Good.
All right, perfect. Good. So what I'd like to do, just for those of you joining us for the first time, is a quick around the horn, so you get to know who's who and what they're playing. JT, would you mind describing to us Captain Malik?
I'm Captain Malik. I'll be basically a charismatic, smooth-talking captain.
Perfect. And why don't you go ahead and tell us about Rybax?
So Rybax is he's a Yeti, and he is the ship's cook and logistics officer. He's eternally grateful to the captain for picking him up on board his crew because he was having a hard time picking up with other crews. And he's a pretty good combatant, but for now he's a logistics officer.
Perfect. And Daystar, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Beatbox?
Beatbox is your foul-mouthed morale, welfare, and medic officer. He dislikes anything organic, but due to his programming, he's not allowed to actually kill anything. So he's got an internal AI struggle.
Yes, he does. And anybody who's watched any of our previous episodes with Beatbox knows exactly how deep that goes. So T-Prime, why don't you go ahead and describe your character?
Yeah, I'm T-Prime. I'm the security ops, and I basically just try and keep the party safe.
All right. And Gerg, why don't you tell us about Kadura?
Kadura's a Kalian, the pilot and astronavigation specialist, repair person, and sort of jack of all trades, but is still pretty good with a pair of blaster rifles with his forearms.
All right, and according to the chat, you are still the worst. So, just reminding everybody.
It's true.
So as I mentioned, you guys are coming off of kind of 2 weeks worth of downtime. You guys came back after after the mission to Pranak 4. You guys, you met up with Commissioner Janik, who's basically in charge of the Jump Corp associates stationed at Luna Bravo Station. And he was overjoyed, right? You guys brought him some artifacts. You brought him some relics from Tracer and some of the Tracer probes, including logic boards. And so he said, you know what, you guys, take a couple of weeks, have some downtime. He said, but one thing he did say at the conclusion of that conversation was, he said something about your next assignment potentially being on Leviathan. And so kind of, offline, I've given the players access to some information about Leviathan, but to catch up, those watching at home, the planet Leviathan is located in a system known as Sigma Hydrae. It's a star system that was discovered a long time ago, but because it was very far from many of the known worlds, it was kind of on the fringe, and most of the expansionist organizations, of which Jump Corp is one, kind of paid it little to no mind. But about 20 years ago, a scouting expedition sponsored by Vestal Interplanetary, a largely entertainment-oriented corporation, reached Sigma Hydrae, and the team quickly identified Sigma Hydrae 2 as an M-type planet and suitable for colonization. In the past, Vestal has always auctioned off rights to any system of this sort to the highest bidder, but its board realized immediately that Sigma Hydrae was simply too far off the beaten track to be a reliable draw for settlement. After confirming that there was no intelligent life on the planet, Vestal's expedition made planetfall. And the goal was to run through surveys of mineral and other natural resources, hoping to sweeten the pot for potential investors. And that's when the team discovered something really interesting. Sigma Hydrae 2 was home to dinosaurs. The planet's indigenous life forms weren't actually dinosaurs, of course. Earth's prehistoric monsters didn't have 6 legs or 6 eyes, but Laceroons were the closest thing mankind or any other sentient race had found in the galaxy. Hordes of giant, scaly beasts that shook the ground when they walked. Seeing a potential gold mine, Vestal staked its official claim to the system and commenced developing several tourist-oriented settlements. It began a marketing barrage to sell the newly renamed planet Leviathan as a unique vacation destination, where the discerning traveler could view or hunt unique, enormous beasts during the day while enjoying 5-star accommodations at night. Does that sound familiar to anybody? I don't know. It sounds a little weird. Anyway, so this is kind of what you know about Leviathan. And so as I mentioned to you guys offline, that, this kind of gets you're starting to think about, well, hey, what could he have meant? And just, as you feel like relaxation finally sets in after 2 weeks of downtime, Captain Malik, you get a notification on your handheld that tells you that your presence is requested with Commissioner Janik, and to bring the rest of the crew that your orders have come through.
All right. I will gather my crew, assuming I can find them after 2 weeks. And I'll also bring coffee.
All right. So you make your way to Commissioner Janik's office. You've been there several times, so it's no challenge to find your way. And as you approach his office, his receptionist, which is a Kalian, just like Kadura, as I mentioned last time. She is busy kind of, answering phones and, shuffling papers and things. And she says, Oh, Captain Malik, welcome back. He's expecting you. Please go right in.
Sweet. Anything you needed me to take to him?
No, not today. You brought coffee. Look, you are an intelligent one, are you not? Oh, man. Oh, well, you better watch out. You're going to take my job one of these days. She says, please do. Go right ahead.
All right.
So
just going in and, similar to last time, I'm going to start pouring coffee for my crew and the, what was his friend?
It's Commissioner Janik, Janik, Janik. Yeah.
Okay.
And so you open the doors, and he's currently on the phone, and he kind of puts up his hand, and he motions to a series of chairs. So there are 5 chairs, kind of situated around. He kind of puts his hand over the phone for a second. He says, "Hey, just 1 second." And you hear, he basically says, "Look, I can't talk about this now. We'll have to sort this out later. So yeah, don't worry about it. The package is coming. You got nothing to worry about. All right, bye." And he hangs up. He says, yes, the crew of the Luna Sea. How are you? How was your downtime? I hope you enjoyed your time around the station. I hope the R&R was
Too
successful.
short, as always.
Yeah, no, I bet. So I've got an interesting one for you. He says, you're all familiar with Leviathan, right? You know, and he slides a pamphlet across the table, and it's got a picture of, like, you know, a guy with a monocle and, you know, and a safari hat and a big rifle, you know, and it's, you know, and it basically the pamphlet basically tells about, like, you know, hey, come blow your money, whatever. So T Prime, you got a comment in the chat. I have to remark about it. So Escape in the chat says he's loving the new hairdo. So just so that you know, I put a like a picture up, you know, in its place, so that we didn't just have the gray screen. But yeah, so props on the new haircut. Anyway, so very, very good, Escape Bob. Very good. Appreciate it. Anyway, so you know, so it basically tells kind of the story that I mentioned before, which is, you know, are you tired of your day-to-day life? Blah, blah, blah. Come to Leviathan, you know, blah, 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 you know. And so he says, so there's a bit of a situation. All right. I'm going to need to transfer you to the Ranger squad. But only because I need you to go undercover. I need you to try to figure out what's going on there. I think there's a mole in the Rangers. There's a group, a terror organization that's operating on Leviathan. They're causing a lot of problems for some of the visitors that go there, and they're basically, I have a suspicion that they've got something big planned, and I don't think the Rangers are prepared, and frankly I don't trust their leadership I don't trust their leadership to do what's required to root out this terror organization. The only problem is this. I'm concerned that the message is going to get back here that I sent you guys undercover. The Natural Order is the name of the terror organization that's been operating on Leviathan. I think they also have plants here at Luna Bravo. And so what that means is that, you know, I'm going to have to do this one off the books. And so I'm really sticking my neck out here, but trust me, you know, if we bring, you know, if we find out what this Natural Order group is coming up or is up to, it's just going to blow the lid off of, an interplanetary terror network that, that's most likely headquartered on Leviathan.
Can we not go to the authorities with this?
I think they've got so the council, so there's a legitimate arm to the Natural Order, okay, and they are they're all members of the Conservation Party. You've probably heard of them, political structure, but basically they're, what they're trying to do is they're trying to defeat any kind of colonization or terraforming activities or anything to these to some of these planets like Leviathan. Now, I'm all for proper regulations and all that other stuff, but these guys take it too far. The problem is, if I go to the authorities, then they're gonna cry foul. They're saying that they're gonna tell them, or they're gonna say that we're discriminating against them. But I have very strong evidence that tells me that this natural order group that is operating on Leviathan is looking to recover some ancient relics that are believed to exist on Leviathan. So recently, our science team came back with some information that, it looks like, about 1,000 years ago, there was some type of extinction level event that occurred on Leviathan. We're still trying to sort out the details, but needless to say, there was a tectonic shift that occurred, and a giant fissure was opened up, and there's a pretty good belief at this point that when that fissure opened up, something unnatural that wasn't intended to be on Leviathan was pulled into the fissure. And so we believe that the natural order is trying to stir up chaos so that their parent organization, the NOX, can come in and retrieve whatever is at the bottom of that fissure. Now, my ability to prove any of this is very limited, and I know I'm asking you guys to go out on a limb, but this, this is a universe problem, and until I can get more facts, I can't go to bat on what I've got now. So what I need you guys to do is I need you to go there posing as new Rangers. I need you to blend in. I need you to figure out what's going on with these, the natural order that's there. And I also need you to investigate some of these other unexplained events. There's excessive methane emissions coming from the fissure. The animals in certain areas have been driven to frenzy. There's been some unexplained sickness. There's a bunch of other stuff. I'll put you in I'll put you in touch with somebody who's on the ground when you get there, who can run you through everything that's been going on, if you choose to go. Now, alternatively, I understand if you're not comfortable with this, right?
I was really looking forward to putting up some more beacons. It's my purpose of life.
I'm sure it's super exciting work, but as far as I'm concerned, with what you did on Pranek, this is a suitable job for you guys.
Out of character.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're going to put us in the Ranger division. So I'm assuming that the company has getting Rangers on that planet that are employed by this company.
Yeah, they're less.
What you're saying?
They're less like Army Rangers, and they're more like park rangers.
Hey, boo boo.
I don't know. So
look at that picnic basket.
Yeah. So yeah. So which is
I just
part
want to
of
make
the
sure.
problem,
So they're employees of the same company.
Yes.
So we're going to go. We're not trying to hide the fact that we're from the company. We're just the spy or whatever. Is just park rangers.
The difference, the main difference is, you're going to be able to bring your ship into orbit. You're going to be able to land with a lander, a shuttle. But when you get there, right, everybody who is receiving you, everybody who's got you, who has information about your arrival, is going to expect you to be kind of new transferees to the ranger service on Leviathan. They're not going to know, that you guys are the crew of the Luna Sea. They're not going to know any of your exploits, and we need it that way. Because if they do know, then what's going to happen is, the word is going to get back from there to here as to why I put rocket jocks on the ground in Leviathan. And that's going to be a big problem for all of us. And when he says big problem for all of us, you hear a big, like a commotion from outside. And you hear his receptionist, "You can't go in there. He's busy. He's in a meeting." And then you hear some banging on the door, and the door bursts open. And it's a pair of deaders, which are the undead. They're a parasitic race. They use a dead human, a dead host, to live on. And so they're wearing helmets with kind of almost what looks like embalming fluid in them. They're wearing just jet black spacesuits. And there's numerous, lights and sensors, and you hear like a pump running on their suits. And the Commissioner Janik says, "What are you doing? You're not allowed in here." And the one of them,
"You're not allowed in here." Let me see some ID.
Yeah. Commissioner Janik says, what is the meaning of this? You're not permitted in here. We're in the middle of a sensitive meeting. All right, T Prime, 1 second. We'll get there.
Yeah, our pants were like half off already.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Very, very sensitive meeting.
And then one of the deaders says to Commissioner Janik, he says, "We're here to check on the status of our investment." And Commissioner Janik says back to him, "Look, I can't talk now. This is the wrong time. As you can see, no progress has been made thus far, but understand we will make it right." So, and the debtor responds, "If you do not, then we will." And it's a real, like, strange, almost as if somebody has attached an amplifier to like a human voice box, and it just almost sounds like auto-tune a little bit, and so T Prime is just I see what you're doing, but hang on a second. I gotta get through the summary. So Commissioner Janik says, get out right now, security. And T Prime, I will allow you to, if you want to draw and fire, I will allow you to go ahead and make a roll. So I'm gonna just pause the ones that that I saw you rolling in the chat, but
there are questions that need answered here. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna interrogate this boss guy. Are we working for debtors? Is that what you're telling? Is that what I'm finding out?
So are you going to let them leave? Because they're going to leave. So when he calls for security, a couple of Jump Corp security agents come to the door and kind of are going to escort them out. So my question to you is, are you going to allow them to leave, or are you going to take a shot?
They can leave. I'm now steely-eyed on this boss guy who's sending us down, because I'm having a big problem with obviously working in an extended way with debtors.
Clearly not.
Yeah, clearly I have issues. I have clearly I have issues, but I have now new issues. So
All right. So they leave. The door closes. You hear a bit of a struggle in the hallway, and as they're kind of escorted out. No, you think security's got. Yeah, you can help. You could give them a kick in the ass on their way out. That's fine. And so
I have a baton. I have a stick. I actually
So you get out there, chase them out, and security escorts them out of the building, and then you make your way back and you sit down. So what did you want to say to Commissioner Janik?
Why weren't we informed that what is going on with debtors and wood investments before I get involved in any operation involving that species of parastine?
He says,
I want to know.
Look, I'm sorry about that. It had nothing to do with you guys. Let's just say that
Peter?
Sorry, yeah. So let's just say that another crew...
I mean, it has nothing to do with us guys. Does this have anything to do with this mission on the planet Leviathan?
No. So listen, here, another crew was hard up for cash. Okay. Made a deal. I wasn't part of it. I didn't know anything about it. However, they were heavily injured, but they survived. And so the only reason they survived was because, we committed all of the resources of Jump Corp to get them back up on their feet. So these guys that you saw were upset with us because from their perspective, they should have died. But we didn't let that happen. So I'm gonna have to sort that out. But needless to say, it's got nothing to do with you guys. And I'm sorry you had to see it.
If I find that we're under any way working or involved with debtors, you'll regret it.
Look, I assure you, this crew, unless you've made some kind of agreement that I'm not part of, then I see no reason why you would have to associate with them in any way. But
it sounds like this other crew made their own deal with the debtors on their own initiative. And the debtors are, because these people saved this crew, the debtors are trying to are mad because they didn't die earlier. So it sounds to me, do I have that about right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how he explained it, right? He's saying that there was
so
another.
It's not like he actively went and schmoozed with the debtors for some sort of really good deal on it or something like that. So until we get more evidence linking him directly to some sort of thing where he sends crews into dangerous missions to die, to become debtors, then I think we're okay.
So he again, he assures you that, he personally has no dealings with them. He respects their contractual rights, but doesn't appreciate their methods, is what he says. And he says, look, it was just an unlucky coincidence that you had to see that. And I apologize. So, in regards to Leviathan and the contract on Leviathan, I'm prepared to provide you with some gear to set you up for your trip. Is there anything, is there anything in particular that that you would say, this would be extremely helpful. Now, so I mentioned, so the brochure mentioned the Lacerone, which are the dinosaurs, right? He's going to provide you with some weapons specifically to deal with those creatures. So there's a Laceroon rifle and a Laceroon prod, which is, a weapon that's used for kind of stunning the dinosaur creatures if they get too close. But is there anything in particular that you guys feel like you might need? I'm gonna pull some stuff into the party sheet, into the inventory. This is the stuff that he's gonna give you, provided that you accept the mission.
Mm-hmm.
So because you mentioned methane, I was thinking a rebreather mask.
Like an environmental.
I've already got one.
There you go.
I've got one.
Yeah.
They're
I'd
good.
also
They're handy.
like to try to use my jack of all trades to give myself a little bit of training in, I guess the skill would be tracking. What would the skill be?
It'd be survival. Tracking tracking is consolidated into survival in Suede.
All right, I will make a smarts check real quick. It takes about an hour just to refresh, it says, after an hour of study or immersion in that.
We need some sort of vehicle as well. Something along the lines of a
Maybe I
Ford
should
Explorer.
get that instead.
Hey,
Does anybody have the
Ryback.
skill? Because I can get the driving skill instead. Might be a better idea.
The which skill did you say?
Driving. I have piloting. I don't have boating and I don't have driving, but I can get driving or boating.
I do not.
Hey, Rybax.
Yep, go ahead.
Did you have that shield generator, that stasis field that we picked up on the last run we made?
Yeah, I should.
I think just to make sure and not because that might come in handy.
Yep, I still have it. Yep.
All right, that's going to be useful. We might need some batteries for that, or a charge. What do we need on that?
People have some batteries, don't we?
Which one is it? The medium portable static field generator?
Yeah.
It has a battery.
Yeah.
And that battery can be recharged in 5 hours.
Yep.
So
And the battery lasts for 16.
correct.
That's like 2 nights.
Yes. I imagine we could charge it off the Halo Jeep we're gonna get.
All right. Okay. All right. Just making sure we still had that because that'll be useful on this planet against these certain types, and I'm sure that'll be fine. And I got an EMP grenade, Eric, or if you're interested in restocking that.
So
I thought it was modded. You threw it.
No, I didn't. I don't think I wound up using that. Did we use that? I wound up. Yeah, we did. No, you did a frag grenade, I think. I don't think we did EMP. All right. If we did, then ignore it.
I'm not sure, but I'll get another
Neither
EMP,
am I.
I think.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'll remove this. Just.
Are
to be
these free?
sure.
He's just providing us with this equipment.
Yeah, he's just providing you with the equipment.
Beautiful.
And then.
So, Mega, I mean, I'll buy the rebreather if that's not part of the kit.
I don't. It's so hold on. There's. Yeah. Yeah. No, you can. You don't have to buy it. You can just have it.
Dude, that rifle's like 60. Just carrying it, and I'm encumbered.
Yeah. Are there ways? I mean, my load limit is literally 20. So
if you have a
body armor is
vehicle,
like a
you
quarter
can
of
store
this.
equipment in your vehicle.
Okay.
But otherwise
Yeah.
you need something to carry the gear for you. But yeah, it's a big ass gun.
Beatbox.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a shoof. But 3x10, I
We
get
take
that.
one over.
Man.
Oh, that's a.
Hold on.
I don't even have the minimum strength to operate that gun.
Yeah, neither do I. Not at all.
It's like. Anyway.
Okay, so I've dropped all the gear in into the party sheet. So yeah.
Ooh,
So
Machete don't text.
yeah. So are you guys good? Are you ready to head out?
I think so. I grabbed driving because we're probably going to be driving.
Okay, I'm just going to switch this over to the Fantasy Ground screen so I can start sharing some stuff with the folks in the stream. So here we go. So, all right. So, are you guys ready to head out?
Close. I think we're there almost.
Nice.
Hey, that's me in the right with the trunk up.
Okay. So do you have any more questions for Commissioner Janik?
So what's kind of the terrorist goals? It's just a love nature kind of thing. That's what the terrorists are all about.
Yeah, so that's what they. So he tells you that's what they pretend to be about.
Okay.
So from his perspective, that hey, Dice Tyrants, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. Anyway, so he thinks that the Natural Order group is just there to stir up trouble. And basically, if they cause enough trouble, it'll cause people to leave, which will allow them to do what they need to do without generating too much suspicion, right? So like if all the tourists and and Jump Corp and everybody leaves, then then they'll be able to do what they need to do. But he thinks it's just a front. But he needs you guys to get to the bottom of it, because that may not be the case.
Yep, and he just needs some type of evidence that he can take to higher authorities.
Yeah,
Something
no.
solid.
He needs to be able to take something to the council that's that's physical, right? I mean, he needs some evidence to take to the council.
All right. Do we have any point of contacts that we're going to meet up for our ranger assignments?
Yeah, so he gives you the name of a Jump Corp representative on the planet, and her name is Crystal Singh, Singh. And so she is going to meet you on the planet's surface. And she is a trusted advisor to Commissioner Janik. So she is going to be your local contact who is aware of your assignment.
Also, she understands that we're undercover then.
So she's the only one there who's going to know.
All right.
and that's just because he trusts her.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, sorry. All right, so you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, so you get aboard the Lunacy, and pull away from Luna Bravo, taxiing to the jump point. And everything kind of seems normal. You punch in the coordinates for Sigma Hydrae, which is the system that Leviathan is on, and the remote beacon responds, says it's online. It's ready to accept your jump. Anything you need to do before you leave? Are you guys all set, ready to jump?
Got our vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think.
Do we have our vehicle?
Let me say it this way: what may be better is to actually acquire your vehicle on Leviathan, because. So let me pull up the because they have specific vehicles. Let me see.
Looks like they got that hatchback going in that picture.
Yeah, so they've got a skimmer, which is basically almost like a hovercraft. They've got an airboat. They've got a crawler, which is a heavy vehicle that's very expensive. Skimmer. Skimmer's expensive too. Hopper, crawler.
They're all expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm sure as our duties as the ranger will be provided.
Yeah.
From,
yeah. No, it's a fair assumption that in order for you to to do what you need to do, that you'll be assigned transportation. So yeah. So are we ready to jump?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So Kadura, you punch in the information, and you hear the drift engine spin up. And as the engine spools up, you make one last pass with the sensors, just to make sure that everything's clear on the other side. And you jump, and you come out, and Leviathan is in range. It's a large planet, almost completely surrounded by water, but there is a large continent. There's a large continent landmass. Oops, there we go. Sorry, there's a large continent landmass that you see. Let me just pull up a quick map for you. So as you scan the surface, this is the map of Leviathan and the primary continents. To put it in perspective, the continent of Vesta is the largest continent. There's Vesta proper and Lower Vesta, and then there's Alita and Borea, right? And it's almost like an atoll. So there's a center area of water, which is known as the Sea of Fire. Vesta is the landmass of Vesta would would be larger than the entire volume of landmass on the planet Earth. So, so scale-wise, it's an extremely large continent, but the rest of the surface is primarily water. And this is the only area that has been settled / colonized. So anything you want to do before you establish orbit?
Yes, let's establish orbit, and not sure exactly where we wanted to touch down, Captain.
All right. Well, so we need to essentially. He said that it was fine for us to come in our ship, so that's not like we're hiding.
Yeah. So you're going to be landing, so you're going to establish standard orbit, and then you're going to take a shuttle down to Ralston, as you can see on the map. So you're going to be taking a shuttle down to the surface to Ralston.
Oh, I see it. Yep. Okay.
So anything you need to do from orbit, I presume you set
put all of
your
our gear into the shuttle.
Yeah.
So we don't leave anything on the on Mother or on Lunacy.
Okay, and then any instructions to Mother while you're away?
Maintain orbit. Don't fall out of the sky.
I'll try, Captain.
Standard operating procedures for
alert us if any other ships enter the system.
Okay. And Mother responds, "No problem."
Or leaves the system, maybe.
Okay.
There isn't a lot of traffic right now, like normal tourist traffic.
There's a decent amount, but the tourist shuttles kind of follow a very standard path, and they're where you're going to maintain your orbit will be just out of their out of their way. So it's Leviathan is tidal locked, so basically you're going to be putting you're going to be putting the Lunacy kind of on the dark side, so so that there isn't any so that nobody's really aware of what's going on. Star Wheezy, I see your message in chat. Is it the players or is it me? Anyway, so basically, so you're going to be putting your. Oh, okay, all right. I can do something about that. Thank you for the heads up. I really appreciate it. I can make an adjustment here. There we go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your letting me know. So anyway, so you put the Lunacy into a stable orbit on the dark side of Leviathan, and it's going to circle the dark side, basically, so that it's unseen by tourists or whatever, and then you're going to shuttle in, and your cover story is provided by by Commissioner Janik, is that you're being dropped off by the Distant Light of all ships as part of your transfer assignment, and that the Distant Light shuttled you in, and that the shuttle is for you to retain during your time on Leviathan.
Okay.
All right. So so you guys ready to head to the ground?
Yep.
All right, cool. So
can't shoot any dinosaurs from orbit, I'll tell you that much.
We can. It's just not, it's fun.
I disagree, Captain.
I mean, bombing is kind of like shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Larger margin of error.
So go ahead and give me a piloting roll, Kadura, to set the shuttle down. There's, it's pretty straightforward, landing pad, but I want to make sure that.
All right.
Yeah, so you're totally fine.
Okay.
So you set down on the pad, and the shuttle comes to a stop, and you hear the interstitial space, which is between the outer hatch and the inner hatch, vents, and the light on the airlock turns green, and a voice comes over the communicator. Environment stabilized. You may exit now.
Sweet.
So did you want to open the hatch?
Yes.
Okay, so you open the hatch, and you're instantly kind of the sounds of the jungle kind of creep in, right? You hear distant, what sound like birds, but who knows what they are. You hear a series of different kind of alternating clicks, which, as you look around, you see like almost what looks like an electrified fence surrounds the landing pad, and what appears to be the main compound at Rastalon. And it kind of arcs, so there's a series of kind of metal cables that run from pole to pole, and you can see, the energy that is coursing between this is visible, right? So you can see these like bolts of electricity traversing down and around, almost in like rhythmic patterns around the station. And as you come, and as you kind of emerge, your eyes adjust to the light. You look up and you see the sun, which is known as Tiamat, and it's named after the Babylonian goddess Tiamat, and it's an orange dwarf, which means that it is. It provides slightly less energy than kind of the Earth sun, a yellow sun, and it casts this kind of golden hue over the atmosphere. So as you look, you see this, almost as if the planet is kind of encased in a golden bubble. It's quite a remarkable sight. And so, as you kind of step down and get your bearings, a pair of people dressed in kind of strange uniforms approaches you, and they one is wearing like this long brimmed hat, and the other one is wearing almost like a baseball cap, more or less, except for it's kind of slanted, almost like a whatever you call I forget what those hats are called. Anyway, but more or less a baseball style cap. And they walk up, and the one that's wearing the wide brimmed hat says, "Oh, gotta look at these fresh meat. Welcome to Leviathan. Are you the new Rangers?"
That's us.
All right. My name's Chuck. You can just call me Chuck.
What's up, Chuck?
And
Charlie.
This is Crystal. She says she was supposed to come out to meet you, but I came out to escort her. And she looks at Chuck and she goes, "Okay, Chuck, you can leave now. Thanks." And he kind of turns to her and he's like, seriously? You're making me look bad in front of the boots, right? And she goes, no, Chuck, seriously, you can leave now. And he's like, okay, well, if you need anything, I'm just going to be right over there. So all you have to do is say, hey, Chuck, and I'll come right back. All right? And she goes, yeah, fine. Go. And so once
he
Chuck
totally has a crush on you, Crystal.
he says, yes, thank you, Captain Obvious. Anyway,
no, that's the captain. I'm just the pilot.
Okay, Pilot Obvious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she says, welcome to Leviathan. I'm Crystal Singh. You'll be taking a job as a ranger on Sigma Hydrate 2. To put that in galactic common, that means that you'll be working as a troubleshooter on Leviathan. If that still doesn't put it into context, here's the long form. Vestal runs a high-end resort on Leviathan, a remote planet. And by remote, I mean you jump to the middle of nowhere, then jump twice more. And by runs a high-end resort on Leviathan, I mean the entire planet is basically a resort. And by resort, I mean largely unsettled wilderness that's home to the closest thing to dinosaurs you're likely to see outside of Trid. Mostly you'll be handling jobs out in the wild, search and rescue, wildlife management, maybe some minor regulations enforcement, but don't worry. We've got a contingent of jump sec officers already on planet to handle the everyday drudgeries of law enforcement. Best of all, you're going to get plenty of downtime, and you'll be spending it in one of the most exclusive destinations in the galaxy. And on top of that, you get to see giant lizards in their natural habitat. So she says, I know that Commissioner Janik sent you. He told me a little bit about, who you are, what you've already done in the past. But as far as I'm concerned, none of that stuff matters. When you're here, you're a ranger. I don't care what you've done before. And if anybody catches wind that you're anything other than a ranger or ranger recruit, we're going to have problems. All right? Am I making myself clear?
Yep, Crystal.
I was about to make that same joke.
Yeah, downtime. Got it.
All right.
Yes, downtime.
So she says,
Speaking of, I got a nice bar up on the, the ship up there if you ever want to see it.
Sounds intriguing. Maybe some other time.
He makes a hell of a bloody crystal.
Did you gear up before you headed out? Or is there anything that you still need to get ready?
A hat? I could use a hat. I didn't realize the sun would be so hot.
Sure. We'll go to
We need a vehicle.
We'll go to the depot and we'll get you situated. Depending on the
Install
job.
this gear.
Is it a Leviathan branded hat? Sorry. Go ahead.
Depending on the tasks you're assigned to, you'll be provided appropriate transportation. But for now, I can get a couple of folks to shuttle your gear to your rooms. Let me show you there. And so why doesn't everybody give me a notice roll real quick?
Sure thing.
Hey. Usually I don't notice anything.
All right, so T Prime, Beatbox, and Kadura. You guys notice, you can see where you land is kind of set back from where the tourists land, but you can kind of see it. And so you see a large kind of tourist transport land, and there's a bunch of people getting off, and you guys notice that there appear to be a bunch of people standing there with signs that read, nature is not your pet. They seem to be whatever you call boycotting or
peaceful protesters.
Yeah, protesting. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, they seem to be protesting the visitors. And then as the people get off the shuttle, the majority of them kind of walk right past them and then into this like hangar system. But a couple of them actually reach into their bags, pull out their own signs, and start protesting next to them.
Okay.
So Crystal looks at you and she says, "Oh, yeah, them. Yeah, that's the natural order. I think they're harmless."
Fedora's got some stun grenades if you need help with them, Crystal.
As much as I'd like to stun grenade every last one of them and deport them off of Leviathan, they've all bought a ticket, and they're entitled to stay for the duration of their visas, unless they cause trouble.
Money's money.
If they cause trouble, then we'll get rid of them.
You can track them.
Yeah. Again, as much as I'd love to do that, there are laws here on Leviathan, and we're part of the group that needs to enforce those laws. So
all you have to do is remove the vegan options from the menus. They leave on their own.
It's all hot dogs all the time. Anyway, so
Dino dog.
Yeah, dino dogs. So yeah, she says, "All right, come. Why don't I go ahead and see you to your rooms?" And you see a pair of jump sec workers, which are like the private security. They kind of remind you of like mercenaries, more or less. They're wearing kind of like black uniforms. They've got like blacked out patches that say jump sec on them.
Tactical.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're talking to each other, and one guy's kind of pointing over at the protesters, and the other guy responds, and you hear him say, "That's a bunch that calls themselves the Natural Order. They're apparently some eco freaks who shelled out the creds to purchase a ticket here just to complain. Bunch of nuts, if you ask me." And
they have to be pretty rich to do that too, don't they? I mean,
they would
using
have to.
daddy's money to get a vacation on Leviathan just to like protest the fact that it exists, giving Leviathan money in the process.
Right? Yeah. No, it's very well thought
Doesn't sound
out.
like they're the smartest group. Am I right?
They're college
Yeah.
freshmen.
So he says, he carries on. He says, "Near as I could figure out, they want Vestal to pack up and leave so the dinos can live in peace. I've been on a few expeditions. I tell you, even if we left them alone, they'd just start killing each other quicker than you could say Beetlejuice."
What's Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice?
Is that a delicacy? Is it a drink? Can I have
Ryback
one?
loves Beetlejuice.
Yes, exactly. So you guys, actually, let me see. All right, so here is, let me go ahead and drop something else into the, so did you guys take everything you need to take out of the party sheet inventory?
Yeah, I got everything that I wanted.
Yeah, I think I got what we need.
I am going to be keeping an eye out for a bag of holding or something like that. I got to be able to carry one.
I need a little red wagon.
Like
around
two,
with
I want
stuff.
2 blaster rifles, but each blaster rifle is like 7 pounds, and I have 20 pounds total. How am I going to wear like 15 grenades?
Build it up.
Okay, so as they take you on board, as they take you into the staging area, there's a depot, and so they provide you with your standard gear. So they provide you with some armor and uniform, which says basically Jump Corp Ranger on it. They provide you with your wide-brimmed hat, Kadura. And so I've put a bunch of other stuff into the party sheet inventory. So you guys can go ahead and take a look at that and see what all you need.
My hat says Leviathan Rangers do it on dinosaurs.
Yes, it does. All right, so so they take you and you get situated in your with your gear and stuff like that, and so as you guys are as you guys are gearing up and getting situated, right? Your rooms, you're setting up your rooms and everything like that, and it starts to be kind of nighttime at this point. So I mean, even though the sun doesn't actually set because it is tidal locked, it gets to be the period of time where most folks start to turn in, and so as you're getting situated, you hear a large explosion, and an alarm starts going off, an alarm starts going off, and you hear a message come over the intercom, the station intercom. It says, "All personnel, please report to Sector B for muster and emergency situation protocol." And so you hear it's like meh, 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 meh. And so as you kind of as your doors open up automatically, and then you see on the wall there's a letter B with an arrow kind of pointing in the right direction. So anybody not going to go to section B for muster?
I'm really tempted to sleep in, but I'll go.
Are we like the stripes of the Ranger division here?
Yeah, right. So you guys all make your way to section B, and there's everybody who's there is kind of situated in one area, and a group of 5 jump sec officers walks to the front of the room and says, "Folks, everybody, can I get your attention, please? You've got a bit of a situation." He says, "We're still getting a handle on the situation. However, preliminary damage assessment indicates that the static repeller fence has been breached in several areas. Simultaneously, the primary power station suffered a catastrophic failure. Furthermore, we're receiving scattered reports of Laceroon incursions in the outskirts of the city. At present, it appears these events are connected and the result of what may be terrorist activity. All security and ranger personnel to report to the armory for equipment issue. Each team will receive their orders via comlink directly from Jump Sec Operations. All right, folks, now let's move out." And you see folks start to scatter in a bunch of different directions. So you guys,
We can leave all our equipment in our rooms and then get assigned new ones and then sell the old ones later on. Or sell the new ones, depending on which ones are better.
I mean, yeah, if we're at our room, I don't mind. They just said go to muster. It didn't say bring your equipment to muster.
Yeah, show up in like boxers and be like, equip me.
And we were ordered to go to the supply room. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. The only thing I'm wearing is my Leviathan hat. And
literally.
And socks. Yeah, I get it.
No, not even necessarily socks. Depending on how much time we have, depending on if I fell asleep in my socks.
Well, I'm going bare ass naked.
There you go.
Does that just mean panels are off, or?
So should the Yeti.
He considers paint clothing.
It's normal.
Or is it more like Futurama, where like you see the circuit diagrams and that's what does it for you?
Risque.
All right. Oh, and Ryback, you're gonna have to like, just you haven't done it yet, but no more of the captain thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Captain, my captain.
Nope.
We
Gotta
could
nip that in the bud.
Let's pretend that your like given name is actually Captain, and then we won't have to. And he's just like super loyal to you, you know. Like you saved his life sometime or something like that, or like when you were kids he was bullied because he was the only Yeti. You were the only one who was nice to him, and now you're in a gay relationship. This is why he calls you Captain, my captain.
Captain, my captain.
There you go. No problems anymore.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys are sent out. As you go gear up. Caption, my caption. Anyway, so as you guys gear up and head out, you find that you're being assigned to an area kind of just east of the camp, and you're going to be looking for where one of the fences has been breached. Okay. And there are reports of some terrorist activity in the area. So you get the suspicion, or you're instructed that that somebody spotted someone looking like a terrorist, or some group looking like terrorists in this particular area just before the explosion. So they're fleeing on foot. So let me go ahead and do this. Okay.
Captain, it may be wise to leave at least one alive for questioning if we get into a fight.
It might be wise to walk.
Leave at least one alive for questioning. By questioning, I mean ask them questions while they have a grenade jammed up their ass.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
I love these like forest maps in the last couple of weeks. They're beautiful.
Hey, Mega.
Sorry, yes. You guys are coming in from the northwest. Sure, go. What's up?
So my Yeti does not fare well in humidity. So if that's just he gets penalties on exhaustion checks, just pass it on.
Okay. I think we're actually gonna. So Sirenscape just crashed, unfortunately. So we're gonna lose the music. Hopefully that's okay with everybody. But we should be good to proceed anyway. So you guys coming in from the northwest. There's a light kind of mist, rain, and there's that smell of like ozone associated with electrical, and so you kind of emerge from behind. So you emerge from a wooded area into this area. There's a stream that kind of runs through here, as you can see. Why don't you guys go ahead and give me notice rolls to see if you pick up on any movement in the general vicinity.
What does it mean when it says trait roll was a natural one? I saw that a few times.
So that means your wild die saved you, basically. That your trait die rolled a 1, right? So like whatever you have for notice, which D4, D6, whatever, that was a 1, and then your wild die saved you. Okay, so Kadura, Rybax, and T Prime, you guys noticed kind of two different two different whatever you call movement patterns. Hold on.
General, stay behind me.
I drop to one knee. I take a little bit of dirt. I look at it. I taste it. Terrorists were here.
Well, the penalty for that is feed them to the dinosaurs.
Okay. So you see two different patterns. You see one group kind of heading to the west, or sorry, heading to the east, like the straight east, and one group heading to the southeast. So let me just drop these guys here.
Does that other group look bigger?
One group looks bigger than the other, yes.
Which one was that?
The group moving to the south, the southeast looks bigger.
I wonder if we should follow the one, because maybe they would like special ops or something like that. Maybe they had their own deal going on. We could ambush them, or we go put a larger group. Captain, what do you think?
Can we get them both? Kill one, follow the other?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want them to escape. Which one should we go after first?
Well, it depends on how big they are. Can we see them? Like, are you going to pull them up on the map, or are we just...
They're just tracks at this point. Oh yeah, the size of the footprints and things like that.
Well, how many? Like, what are they? How many? That kind of thing.
How many sets of footprints are there?
So one group seems to be 5 distinct footprints, and then the other group seems to be just a single set of footprints.
Normally in these situations, I would say the larger group, but that one set of footprints kind of scares me, and I'm almost tempted to go after that. But Captain,
and they're all human sized.
Okay. So do we see them at all? He said they saw movement. So.
Yeah. Well, here we go. So you guys see them.
Ooh.
Okay, so there's a group of 5, and and then a single. So the single one is heading straight east,
I see.
and the other ones are heading kind of southeast. So they're heading. So he's heading, basically. Here, let me just zoom in a little bit so our folks following at home can see. There we go. So this guy is heading straight east, and then these other guys down here are heading down this way a little bit further. So they're splitting up, is what it looks like.
Gotcha. I say we go after the single.
Yeah, we should definitely go after the terrorist leader. Are we getting adventure cards? Are we still doing those?
Yeah, let me go ahead and
I didn't know if you wanted to roll those out.
I think, guys, we should go up and take out the group first. It'd be easier to follow the tracks of the one.
You got the grenade.
Yeah, I know, and that's what we're probably going to want Kadura to stun him.
True.
Exactly.
I was going to say, maybe one of us can try to, at least, I think somebody, at least one person should go after the leader just to stop him from just booking it that way. Because if nobody's going after him, he'll just leave, I feel like. So maybe even, Ryback's maybe even tackling him or something like that, running up to him and just stopping him, trying to get him into a fight. so we can make sure to take them all down. And yeah, a grenade against those 5 sounds just beautiful to me.
Well, T Prime might be able to. If T Prime has a non-lethal ranged weapon, he might be able to get the single one. But I excel at groups.
Ooh.
Unfortunately,
Well, plenty
Maybe-
of drinks.
let me see what I can do.
I also have
Maybe.
a card where my attacks and damage against one person are made at a +2, so I could go after him.
I didn't see the card. Like a card popped up, it was just an 8. Like I don't know what that means.
I saw
go-
the same.
Go to the adventure card section of your character sheet.
It's been the same one I've had for quite some time, which I'll keep.
Oh, okay.
That rules.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, now everybody's got one. So I'm going to go ahead and deal the initiative. All right. So
Ooh.
Alright, T Prime.
Nice, T Prime. I drew a 2.
yeah, but you have an action card that you can use. Do you want to use your action card or no?
Action card?
Yeah. So, or sorry, hold on. You. I don't know why it's got you. Oh, okay. That's why. So.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. So you actually get. Hold on.
I get all the jokers.
All right. So you got an ace. Sorry.
Nice.
There we go. All right, Captain Malik, you've got a 7. Okay, so here we go. So T Prime, you're up first. You've got the Joker. What would you like to do?
Okay. Well, let me take a look at my character. I'm gonna try and move up 6. Stealthy. Using
All right.
stealth.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me a stealth roll.
Yeah. Let me roll that stealth.
And just a reminder, you all did get a get a Benny for that Joker because we are playing with the Joker's Wild rules.
Sweet. Okay, so I rolled my stealth. I'm gonna move my 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to get a sense of range on the, I guess the the other single guy they want me to take out. Or you wanted me to.
Yeah, you weren't in a
Non-lethal.
square, so I put you in a
Okay.
square.
Yeah, I was like on that. Whatever. Fine. You adjust me as you need. I'm good with that. Let's see. Combat.
Go ahead
I
and
was
target.
trying to read up on this. Yeah. Okay.
Is it non-lethal? Are we sure about that? I have so many lovely options. That's all I'm saying.
I defer to the general.
General.
That was the general.
Said I could not call you Captain General.
No,
I thought we found a way that you could do it by being a couple.
he saves money on car insurance too, from what I hear,
By switching to Icebox?
according to Shaquille
Yeah.
O'Neal.
Oh, right.
My boy Shaq.
They in their CGI department too, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Oh no, they spared no expense.
That little mascot's freaky.
Yeah. All
All
right,
right.
T-Prime, what do
I'm
you got?
going. I'm gonna have to hit him. Aim with my laser rifle. Sorry. So I get with my scope. I get the +2. Range is what is that? 9. That's what is that? far as distance? 90?
It should say no. It should say
'Cause I'm looking-
the
looking
distances
at my
on your
range.
weapon are in inches.
30,
so-
60, and I guess 120 because it's 12.
Yeah.
And a rate of fire is 3.
Yeah, so that means you get, it's an automatic. So you basically take it, you right click twice to add the additional shots, and then you roll it all at once. You want me to roll it for you the first time? Show you what it
No.
looks like?
I right click it twice. Yeah, that's all I need to do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to aim.
Okay, how about it?
Those guys look really sweet, by the way. With the dual pistols. Nice.
Okay, looks like I hit him 3 times. One with a
Raise,
raise.
All right, perfect. Go ahead and do your
Okay.
damage. Yeah, go ahead and do your damage.
I didn't hear you, leader, but I'll assume that's an okay. So I'm gonna now roll my damage. Do I do that 3
Yeah,
different
yeah,
times, not
go-
one
yeah.
time? Right. It's 3 rolls. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
So
I think I've got some sounds back.
okay. Well,
Is he not dead?
It hasn't been applied, I think.
Oh, okay. He's got like 4 wounds. Oh.
All right, I think we're in business with the sounds.
he did
Uh,
3 wounds because he has a toughness of 6.
3 wounds.
He was shaken. We got him 3 wounds,
Yep.
and then another.
So that's going to that's going to take him out.
Incapacitate him. Yep.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah.
okay. So there we go. Yeah. So he goes down. So why don't you go ahead and describe it for those watching at home? So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my laser rifle, which I've managed to pick up at the Jump Corps headquarters. I was able to line up a sight with my scope. I took a nice bead on him and stitched him up 3 shots right up the back. Final shot through the head,
Awesome.
completely killing him. I watched him stumble forward, and you could just see the blaster smokes coming up from him.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you wreck him. He falls over. The rest of these guys turn with the sound of your shot, and so he falls down. So anything else, T Prime?
What are my other options? I did my move, ran my shot.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Martial artist. Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
All right. So go ahead and pass your turn if you would.
Yes, sir, Bob.
All right.
Could
Kadura,
Sure,
you're
how
up.
crazy it's going to be when they all get a grenade to the face. I'll make my movement 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I can move like 5, 6, if that'd be okay. Like ending up next to him.
What's your
And
pace? What's your pace?
6.
Then yeah, you can move 6.
Okay, great. 7 feet, range 5, 10, 20. So would that be a -2 to throw?
It would, yeah. It would. It
Okay.
should calculate the distance automatically.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'll attempt to throw a stun grenade here.
Go ahead
5
and
seconds.
target them all.
Oh, good call. I'm gonna throw it at that same place. Well, if I hit the 7 feet, the damage would hit them all, right?
Yeah, but you have to have them targeted to be able to apply the damage.
Yeah, but it's gonna make like 6 attacks first. Is that what we want to do?
Yeah,
is it just
because
one
they all
attack?
have a chance to get out of the way.
Okay, that's fair. And I have a chance to hit a bunch of them too then. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, stun grenade. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna reroll that. I will use a penny to reroll.
Yeah. Go ahead and drop the Benny.
Drop the penny on myself or something?
No, just drag it into the chat window. It'll say you're using it.
Okay. Try that again. Nah, it's a -2, target 4. Okay. Damn it. Okay. Can I make a shot with my blaster rifle with my additional action?
No, you would have had
Because of my
to.
4 arms.
You would have had to. Oh, yes. Sorry, you are an exception. So
Okay,
yes,
cool.
you can make a blaster rifle attack.
This is exactly why I took this race, ladies and gentlemen.
And feel free to burn one of my bennies as well.
Oh, really? I
Yep,
might
if you
burn
want-
one just
if you
to try
want
that
to
stun
do,
grenade
yeah.
one more
So
time.
I'll burn a benny. Where do I need to drop it? Just into the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and drop it in the chat.
Okay, in the chat.
I have 3 bennies left, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's see if I can get it this time. I cannot. Athletics stun grenade. Oh right, because it's thrown.
Is Beatbox giving any tunes?
Not yet. I'm slow.
All right.
Maybe whenever it's my turn.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna take the shot, Captain. But I appreciate the assist.
Yep.
I'm sure I'll roll better at one point. See, there we go. I got something here. So I'm gonna hit that one natural Florida terrorist and do a little damage there.
Oof, a lot of them.
So as he's sort of, it's pretty funny because as Natural Order Terrorist 4 turns around to try to see where that's coming from, the only thing he can see is a blinding flash from my own blaster rifle, and they're coming up and filling his vision, and suddenly there's a hole where his face used to be. He sort of gracefully falls forward. And for a terrorist, he dies pretty nicely. And that is the end of my turn. After I high-five T-Brime.
All right, Rybax, you're up.
All right, so
I don't know. I'm trying to play patty cake with these 4 hands, so yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna use my run action.
Okay, go ahead and roll your run die. So you can move a total of 10. Right now you're on a half a square. You're on a half a square. So you can get to there. There you go.
Is that my end, or do I have one more left?
That's 10.
Okay. Okay. So then I'm gonna try to attack this guy.
Okay.
Take his head off, really. I was unsuccessful.
Okay, so they're gonna go. So this guy's gonna target you. So he is going to use his laser rifle.
So Mega, I have the shield, which just I think it's hopefully it takes into account, but it's +4 armor versus ranged attacks that hit.
Okay. So he's gonna make his first attack. So he say again. It's +4
against ranged attacks.
Okay, so you should be an 8 to hit, but it's not calculated correctly, I guess. Okay. All right. So he missed. And that's going to be his turn. And then the next guy is going to do the same. He sees this giant Yeti come bearing down on him. So he's going to make his attack. He is going to miss as well. So he should have hit, but that... Hold on. Let me just double check something because... Inventory, armor. Okay, polymer shield, +4 armor to ranged attacks that hit. Okay, all right, so let me... All right, now I understand why it was screwed up. So that +4 armor is going to mitigate damage. It's going to make the damage more... You're still just as easy to hit, but it's going to take 4 off your damage. So actually, I need to go back to the previous guy because he
hit once.
He did hit once. So let me go ahead and roll his damage.
Okay.
So he had 1 hit.
But so that
and you are unharmed. You're unharmed from that hit. Okay. And then it makes your toughness higher.
Right. It should be 19, right?
Hold on. Hold on. It looks like it's 15 right now. So just double check and make sure that it's applied.
But in that 15, it doesn't list the shield at all.
Okay, I can fix that.
That's insane. Mine is like 9.
Okay, so what you're going to need to do is toggle this, okay? So I just added the shield.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so it's 19 now, but when you right-click on toughness, you go to modifiers, you'll be able to turn it on or off, okay?
For melee, right.
All right, yeah, so this other guy hit twice, okay?
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll damage for him twice. Here's 1 damage, and you're unharmed, and then here's the 2nd damage. And you're unharmed there as well, okay? So...
Oh my god.
So then number 3, he's going to target you. He's going to make his attacks. He's got 2 hits. So he's going to roll 2 damage rolls. So there's damage roll 1, and you are unharmed. And here's damage roll 2, and you are also unharmed. Okay, so they're metaphorically shitting their pants at this point. All right, so this last guy is he is going to attack you with his survival knife, because you're right there. Yeah, you're up close and personal.
So shield is off.
Yeah. Okay. So here's his damage roll, and yeah, he is unsuccessful. And so, all right, the terrorist leader is down. So Captain Malik, you're up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move my 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Bless you.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Can I shoot at any of these? Like, do I have line of sight? I see there's a tree there, but is the canopy above?
You can shoot the one next to Ryback's, but none of those other guys are going to be available to you. They're well hidden behind that tree.
Okay.
I mean, you can shoot at them, but you're going to take a -4.
A -4, but the one beside Ryback, no penalty there.
Yeah, no, you can get that guy with no penalty.
All right, well, that's what I'm doing then. All right, so.
All right, that's a hit with a raise.
And does this new rule set automatically do the damage with a raise?
It does.
Okay. And here's the damage.
All right, that's 2 wounds. Go ahead and tell us how it goes down.
Oh, well, I basically come running up, see some river, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to get my feet wet, and stop, and just kind of line up as best as can and barely get the guy because of Ryback's large mass that I'm going to stay behind.
All right, perfect. And there's one for you, sir, and here's one for the general, because he saved some time. All right. So Beatbox, you're up. What do we got?
All right, assessing the situation. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move. I've got, I think, a 5 pace. Yep. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. And I'm going to load a tranquilizer dart for a human-sized target.
Okay.
That takes an action, so I think that's going to be it for me. No music.
Okay. All right. You can. What you can do is you can hit that. So if you look in the lower left where it says 1 action, 2 action, 3 action, if you change that to 3 action, if you wanted to fire it, you still could, but you'd take a pretty heavy penalty because you moved, you loaded. Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
Yep.
All right. If you're all set, then go ahead and pass the turn.
And like I said, I do not want to turn on the music.
Okay. I'm good. Okay, so that's going to take us to the top of the initiative order. We've got Captain Malik drawing an ace this time. So, Captain Malik, what would you like to do?
Nice.
All right, well, I'm going to move 6 again, making sure I jump over the river, not get my feet wet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I can get a little better angle on this guy. And I'm just going to shoot him.
Oh, that's a miss.
I'm going to attempt to shoot him. You know what? I'll go ahead and burn a Benny on it just to re-roll.
Benny. All right, that's a hit.
All right.
All right, he is shaken.
Good enough.
Oh boy.
Beatbox, you're up.
Oh boy. You don't know how long I've been wanting to do this. I'm going to shoot me a human. But first I'm going to move.
Go ahead.
Can I move through this foliage down here?
Yeah, you can. Just kind of not where the trunk is. There you go. Yep, you're fine.
Yeah. All right. And what's the range between me and that close guy?
Just
That
target him.
terrorist?
Just target him and it'll show you.
Let's see here. Target.
Control click. Just control click.
Control click. Did I do it?
Nope.
There we go.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
So-
I want to shoot him.
okay. All right, go ahead.
All right. Kapow! Yeah, I lined up with my my computer programming to the best of my abilities, and I fired this tranquilizer dart, knowing that it's not going to cause any sort of permanent damage to him, but still getting to shoot a human. Oh man, it's my own personal safari.
I do look a little concerned.
That's great. A+.
All right. So yeah, so you definitely hit him. But okay. So what are the effects of the tranquilizer?
All right, so let's see here. Tranquilizer rifle. A target hit by a tranquilizer gun must make a vigor roll -2 if hit with a raise, so it was not. So regular vigor roll at the beginning of its next 2 actions. On a failure, it acquires 2 levels of fatigue, and with a success, only 1 level of fatigue.
Okay.
And then it moves on if it gets a raise on the vigor roll. He suffers no further effect from the dart, but keeps any fatigue levels he may have already acquired.
Okay. All right. So when it's his turn, he'll make. So that's terrorist 3.
That is. Also, if he had armor of +3 or greater, it stops the dart, rendering the attack useless.
He does not.
Okay. Either way, it's a win for me. I mean, my day is done. I'm walking on sunshine right now.
Walking on sunshine.
Yeah. Okay. And that is the end for me.
Well, if that guy's stunned, that means I can just blast a rifle the others. We only need one particularly. 1, 2, 3.
Well, he's not stunned. All right. He
4,
on his turn. On his
Excuse me,
turn,
right.
he'll make a vigor roll, and then he'll take fatigue. But he doesn't have any fatigue right now. It takes a minute to set in.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to duck behind there. and just
So are you going to target the guy that he hit with the dart? Because that's
No.
that's who you're targeting.
oh, am I? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I meant to target number 2 then.
Okay.
Is it hit?
All right, and that's a wound.
That's
so,
good enough.
So he is an extra, so that's enough to take him out.
Ooh.
So go ahead and describe it for us.
Well, it's kind of like in a movie where a single shot sort of takes any sort of mook down if it's fired by the right person. That's kind of the philosophy behind this. So, I sneeze as I shoot the rifle, and it hits him in the shoulder. And he's like, and it looks like it shouldn't really do anything. It's smoldering a little bit, but like he rolls it around a little bit, and then it just like falls forward, like slowly, like just dies. And I just like,
All right, perfect.
It's meant to like shoot him in the shoulder, but he like gets blown 30 feet in one direction.
Yeah, he like hits him in the shoulder. He spins around like a pirouette and then falls backwards.
and I
T
point
Prime.
and I say, this is what happens when you're on a vegan diet.
All right, T Prime, you're up.
I moved over next to a Kadora. And I'm gonna take another shot rifle. With the let me get my weapon up. Combat. Let me target the guy first. Who is that? That is number 3. Okay.
You'll want to. So if you don't want to hit the guy that's been hit with the dart, you'll want to target the other guy, the guy who is currently shaken.
Oh, okay. Natural or terrorist. All right, I'm looking at him. Yeah. Okay. I think I got him targeted. No, hold on. Let me do this. Let me get that guy. Yep, he's targeted. Okay. Now let's get the combat thing. He's gonna have some trouble now.
Oh yeah, no, hit with the raise. He's gonna have a bad day.
Yeah, 2 raises there. Okay, first shot. Okay, you want me to keep going, or is that like pretty much does it?
2 wounds. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for him. He's
right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. He is incapacitated. So why don't you go ahead and tell us how that looks?
I cut him right in half.
Oh, okay. All right.
This rifle's no joke, boys.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
I didn't know.
All right, so
Like knocked on your ass in the recoil.
Yeah, this is the weapon of choice in my profession.
I love
We
it.
train on these. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, B-Box, that was for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me get the combat tracker and my turn. Right back.
all right, Rybacks, you're up.
But
The
that-
only guy
the-
left is the one that's been tranked.
Knock him out, Ryback.
Well, he's not
Let's
down.
interrogate him.
He's not down.
He's not down. So the way the tranquilizer darts work is you hit them, and then they've got to make vigor rolls over their next 2 rounds, like over their next 2 actions, right? And so when they go, you hit them with the dart. It takes time for the tranquilizer to work its way in, right? So so what you can do is you can go try to grapple them and take them to the ground, or because you get the suspicion at this point that just watching the rest of his friends just get decimated, that he's gonna take off. Now he may not get far, because on his turn he's gonna have he could potentially take 2 levels of fatigue, and if he takes 2 levels of fatigue, he's gonna be in bad shape. But he's gonna start going down like a rhino.
This baby's got range.
Well, no, I'll go ahead and tackle him.
Okay, so we'll do an
for a prisoner.
opposed. Yeah, we'll do an opposed strength check, or athletics. It's up to you.
The Yeti?
My strength.
Please.
My strength.
Yeah.
So it's going to be strength or athletics, whichever you prefer.
So just roll my strength, right?
That's right. And
I don't need to roll it on him, do I?
No, just go ahead and double click on it and it'll roll, and then I'll roll his. So yeah, you tackle him.
Yes.
And so you've got him right now. So effect wise, he is going to be he's going to be entangled. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make him entangled. And he can't move. So you've got him entangled right now.
Yep.
Okay, so if you want to just hold on to him, then go ahead and pass your turn, and I'll make his vigor roll, so I can go ahead and turn that off.
I just want to make... Yeah. I have nothing else I can do. Yep. So pass it.
Yeah, if you would. Okay, so let me go ahead and make his vigor roll. All right, so he crushes his vigor roll. He reaches down, he sees the dart, and he pulls it out, and he throws it to the ground. But he's trying to get out from your from your grip. So he's going to make another strength check to try to get out. So go ahead and give me another strength roll to hold on to him. So that's really all he can do. So you managed to. You got him in a bear hug, right? I just imagine him like he's kicking and flailing and stuff. Do any of you guys want to say anything to him, or?
Yeah. First of all, I got a few things. I have handcuffs. Okay, so I can secure him. I also have an adventure card. And the one I particularly have is called Spill the Beans. The subject you're questioning tells you everything you want to know, whether by friendly persuasion, intimidation, or by force.
Hooray.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Okay. All right. So Spill the Beans.
It's way better than my card.
Let me go ahead and share that for those watching at home.
Sure.
So you play this adventure card, okay?
Yeah.
What do you want to
do I
ask
have to
him?
present it, or okay, you did
No,
it.
I did it for you.
Okay,
I got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So what do you want to ask him?
Well, Captain, do you have any real questions? We want to know where you're from, and what's your motive.
Are you gonna put the handcuffs on him? Because I'll make him bound as well.
Yeah, bind him. Let's get those handcuffs on him, because we're gonna bring him back.
Okay. All right.
To
so
headquarters.
he is bound, and Ryback's just still has him, but
Sure.
his arms are handcuffed.
Okay.
So what do you want to ask him?
Those two questions. Well, if I may, I'd like to interrogate him as to what the organization he's a part of and what is their motive. That's their first question, and I have another one.
Okay, so his response to the first question is, I'm part of the natural order, and we were paid to disrupt things here on Leviathan because my employers think that if we cause enough ruckus, then Vestal will leave, and we'll be able to have the planet to ourselves.
Who is your employer? Who paid you?
His name was Ringar. His name was Ringar.
Was Ringar here on planet?
He is, yeah.
Okay, what does he look like? Is he like Kedora? Like Ryback? Pointing to the Yeti? Kedora? I point to the four-armed, highly armed weapon master.
He's like that one, and he points to Kedura. He says, Callian or whatever. He's one of those.
Okay.
He must have a good motivation. He must have a good heart, like deep down. Maybe we should talk to this guy.
All right. So, are there other of your groups here on the planet? And
Yeah, there's hundreds of us. Hundreds. And more come every week. Every time the shuttles come, we get more supporters.
where's your hideout?
Well, I can't tell you that. They'll kill me.
We'll kill you too. And I lower my weapon at him.
You better spill the
Intimidation.
You better smell the beans.
I'll get right in his face and show him all my teeth.
beans and breath.
But if you help us, we'll stop the operations, and you'll be safe with the Rangers.
Look, this go
in
two
prison,
ways.
but safe and alive.
This can go two ways. You can go back to prison, or you can die here.
I can cook him.
That's an idea.
Mm.
I've never had human before. How is it?
All right.
Asking-
It's Lower Vesta. Our hideout is in Lower Vesta. But you got to get through the fall first. There's only one way through.
Hmm.
The rest of it's not safe.
Are there any passwords?
There's a lot of passwords.
Uh-huh. And where were you headed?
We were back. We were headed to the burrows.
What was your purpose at the burrows?
Regroup. Meet up with the rest of the groups from tonight. Figure out how successful we were.
All right,
This was our
Captain.
first major offensive.
Apparently,
And it failed.
yes. Captain, do you have any
I guess that
questions?
depends on your point of view.
Not of him, but for us.
Hmm.
Let's see. Is he lined up here where Ryback is beside him? And
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. I think I spun you on accident.
No, that's me.
I'm gonna go over to Ghidorah T Prime and Beatbox if you want to come over. They like say basically, look, man, we were told to infiltrate them. I don't think killing them is going to help our chances to infiltrate them if we're supposed to, go undercover as one of these terrorists to find out anything. So, what do you want to do with this guy? He can clearly identify us as,
I think we bring him back and keep him in locked up in headquarters for now.
Yeah.
I think we should take exactly a covert operation with
fear is
regards
that,
to trying to fit
there's
into
some
their group
Rangers.
tonight. We got to head back. Okay.
Further questioning, they might have some other things.
I
that they might
think
ask.
that they can sit on it. Let Crystal let her in on it, and she can sit on them. If
Cool
also
deals, all of that.
we can see her reaction if she's in on it, but I don't think
If
so.
she's in on it, we're screwed.
Exactly. I agree, but we can't trust anyone
Okay.
at this point.
So let's take
So-
take him to Crystal. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Second,
just kidding.
Captain, I think our next action would be then to regroup as they were and trying to infiltrate them. Since none of them have gotten back, we can easily fit in and replace them. We'll just say one of them was killed in the ensuing escape. That'll explain why 6 didn't come back. But anyway,
Well,
we're not.
looking around.
Yeah.
Was there a Yeti and a big robot?
It's going to be a tough sell. Or maybe we can
let's take
at
him back-
least,
let's
Captain.
take
I'll
him back
tell
to
you what.
Crystal.
We can at least go back, and if I could stealthily monitor that group's activity, I might be able to get their count and see where they're further going. We did get the name of where their hideout is, and that we have to go through the falls to get there.
Yep. And let's pull any identification off, specifically from the leader,
Absolutely.
to loot them to see what they got. See if they got passcodes, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind
Thank
of
you,
rummage
Lower
through those guys, and for the most part, they're really not carrying anything that is really significant. So the main guy, the leader, has a small almost it's like a metal case, a small metal case, and inside is a what looks like a key card of some kind.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely take that.
Yeah, we want
So
any.
I'm gonna put it
identifying-
in the party sheet for you.
Guys, do you mind if I grab that?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I bet it, man.
Well, if I got it covertly,
It's in
infiltrate.
the party sheet.
Yeah,
It's
I
it's
see it.
terrorist key card. There you go.
Grab
Got
that
it.
wall walker system also.
That's just
Well,
for climbing.
that is for climbing gear.
Pretty cool. though.
Yeah. Do you want me to
Everybody
take that,
should
Captain, in case I gotta scale the building to get on a rooftop to be able to scope out? Well, that might be possible. We have to see what this area is. I'm willing to covert that area.
Everyone should grab a set of binoculars.
I have some.
All right, cool. Well, I think the plan is to take take him back to Crystal. So when we get back, obviously we won't just like walk out with him, but I'll go in looking for Crystal. And,
Yeah, so as you guys approach, a couple of the jump sec guys are out there kind of patrolling, and they're like, they say to you, "Hey, who goes there?"
Jump Corps, Rookie Ranger team, sir.
Ricky Ranger. Ranger Rick.
Ranger Rick.
That's him.
And he says, "All right, what's your operator number?"
73258.
And he's got a handheld, and he punches in 73258, and you can audibly hear the thing, like
No,
comes-
you mistyped it, and I'm racking my brain for operator number.
so
6969.
you know that you weren't given one yet.
Oh, operator. Oh, I thought you said zip.
No, so
Yeah,
yeah,
We had just showed up. We had just got on boots on the ground here when this went off, so we don't have an operator number yet.
who's your duty officer?
Well, the first person we met was Crystal. I don't know if that's technically our duty officer. We literally were just shown our rooms, and
Stay right there, don't move. And he picks up his rifle, and he gets on his comm link, and he says, "Lieutenant Singh, please report to Sector Delta. We've got some unexplained visitors." And then you hear
What a visitor?
and then you hear you hear a response. Roger that. On my way. And then it cuts out. And after a couple of minutes, he's holding you. Crystal approaches. Crystal Singh. And she says, "What seems to be the hey
operator
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, no, these are the new boots that we just got today. Transfer from from Jump Corp. They were dropped off by the Distant Light. I got them. I'll take them in. They're good. They're with me." And then she says, "But what? Who's that?" And she points to the terrorist guy that you have in custody, and he's like. I kind of envision Ryback's kind of has this like hand over his face, like
Peekaboo.
Makes sense.
and so he tries to speak, but all that gets out is
He's one of those Terrys.
He's a mute. He can't say anything.
Wait, so you captured one? Like
I mean,
alive?
We thought that would be beneficial.
I mean,
to
do you
have
want us to
someone-
just kill him, or?
No. Of course,
Oh,
of course.
okay.
I mean, yes, we. So I don't want you to kill anybody, but
Oh, whoops.
No, I mean they're terrorists. That would be okay.
Not everyone wanted to go peacefully.
We fed the local wildlife, and found this guy.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take him inside. And she says, "Okay. Follow me." And she kind of escorts you into a, a steel frame structure, reminiscent to the ones that you saw on Planet Tomb.
Yep.
Kind of those like prefab, structure in a box type configurations. Like, they're delivered as a like a cargo container, and then they just kind of fold out. And she takes you guys inside, and and passes through a couple of different checkpoints, and and she as she's walking in, she says, "Gary, I'm going to use room 2," and he says, "Yes, ma'am." So she kind of takes you to this room, and she opens the door, and there's a bunch of chairs, and there's a table, and on the other side of the table there's a single chair, and there's a bar that runs through the table. Over the top, and she sits the terrorist guy down in the chair. She unhooks the handcuffs and then passes them through the metal bar and then reattaches them. So now he's kind of chained to the table with his arms out across the table like this.
Nice.
So she says, "All right, tell me what you know. What did he say?" Actually, no. So correction, retcon real quick. So she does that, and she leaves one of the jump sec guys with him, and she takes you to an adjacent room with a one-way mirror so you could see him. So clearly this is some kind of interrogation room. And she says to you, "All right, what did he say?"
I'll let her know. As long as we're not being listened to by anyone else, we're within, like, it's private between us.
Yeah, it's just you guys and her.
Yeah.
You got a serious problem here, ma'am.
They're gonna meet up tonight. They're basically recruiting people. They're coming in acting like protesters, but it's just how they're getting to the planet. They're meeting up at a base, filling their ranks, and they're trying to run y'all off so they have all the planet to themselves.
Damn it. I mean, I knew they were up to something, but I didn't realize it was this deep. What was the name of the leader that he said he worked for?
Ringar. And she kind of
pulls up her, she's got a wrist-mounted computer. She types in Ringar.
Like Google's him?
Yeah, no, she has access to she has access to all of the visitor data, so all the people who come to the, to the planet, she can see how long their visas are and all that stuff.
2 minutes, you guys are going to grab a drink.
So she says, Ringar, well, according to this, his visa expired over a year ago. If he's still
here... How many people
here,
do you have with expired visas here?
So according to the computer, 0. But
sounds like someone's modifying your computer files.
Damn.
Are you able to tell when people leave off planet?
Yeah, I mean, so everybody has to pass through an off-world processing, right, when they leave, right? So when they arrive,
Right.
They get in processed, and then when they leave, they're supposed to get out processed, and then anybody who overstays their visa, the jump sec teams go and chase them down. Usually it's just a mistake, or somebody had a bender the night before they're supposed to leave and forgets to get on a transport. But somebody being here for a year, beyond their visa date, it's very concerning.
Agreed.
Seems like somebody in your ops area is involved.
Yeah, what's more
Highly.
concerning is that it's showing that he left.
Yeah, that I mean, that to me says that somebody doctored these records. So So if this guy is saying that Ringar's still here on world, then we've got a big problem. Because Ringar wasn't supposed to be able to be here in the first place. Ringar's wanted in 6 systems. He's wanted for smuggling and trafficking. So,
What is he trafficking?
People.
Slave trader.
Yeah. So
slave
he does a lot of business with the insectoids. And then the
Parastine.
Yeah. No. The insectoids, not the parastine, not the debtors. He works with the insectoids.
We've had run-in with those guys already.
Well, we've got another step, Captain. Shall we inform our next move? Where we're going to head and what we're going to do. And I whispered to the captain about finding the group as they were going to this party of people were going to heading back to the suburbs, so to speak, to attempt to reconnect with their groups. We might want to spy on them, or we can head over to their hideout.
Yeah, I'll ask Crystal if we can get put on a ranger duty that would put us in that area while she looks for who has access to change these files.
And trust no one.
Something that could be arranged.
I'm sorry. Say that again. What was your? She's clearly distracted. She's like, "Oh shit, we got a big problem." So she.
Hey, keep it together.
Sorry.
Focus.
What was it?
Could you get us ranger duties that would put us in this area, the area near where this, where we know that this thing's going to meet up tonight, and then while you look for whoever would have access to these files, that could modify these files.
Well, I mean, we never run missions south of the fall. I mean, nobody's going to be over there.
Well, these people.
That's just where they would be.
Well,
I mean,
that's why
if you're talking about the
gonna be there.
burrows, I mean, we can arrange transport to the burrows.
Well, how about, can you give us duties where we're just out patrolling and no one would notice if we're not patrolling? You know what I'm saying?
Can we see where that
We
map is
attempt
relation
to
to
go-
falls? Do we know where that is?
The fall's on the eastern side.
Yeah, I want to see the map again. The continental map.
I'm sharing it with you.
Yep.
So basically, just to recap, right? So he said that they were regrouping at the burrows,
Oh,
and
okay,
that
gotcha.
their hideout was south of the fall in Lower Vista.
Right.
I see.
Had to go through the vaults.
So yeah, the burrows. That's what I meant then. Can you give us some patrols near the burrows so that we could infiltrate or attempt to infiltrate this meeting?
I mean, it'll take you a day by surface to get between Ralston and the burrows. By air, half a day. On a transport shuttle. I mean, it's.
I wonder how these guys are gonna make it.
So you guys, where you were was kind of, so you see this as River Styx, like
Yep.
down at the, kind of at the delta of the river is where you were, one of the kind of estuaries, and it was almost a runoff creek that was fed by the River Styx, which you crossed.
Gotcha.
So yes, it is very interesting that they're saying that they would have, that they were regrouping at the burrows tonight, especially considering how far inland you were, or sorry, how far west you were, and the burrows is on the eastern coast.
I noticed. That's where we have
Sounds
to
like-
go. We should start the burrows, and then head through the fall to Lower Vesta if we can to see where they go. Obviously, we might be able to see if Ringar is at the burrows or in Lower Vesta, but that's a wild shot. He's probably at their hideout if he's here.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you could take your shuttle and travel to the burrows if you want.
Okay.
She will give you transfer orders, or duty orders to patrol. So the burrows is like, the burrows is an area where people who are kind of native to Leviathan, people who live there, work there, stuff like that, where they, when they're not working in and around Ralston, the burrows is kind of the settled area. So it's, city streets and stuff like that, but it's not, but it's more suburban than Ralston. So Ralston is, the kind of vacation / resort area, and the burrows is more like
South Beach.
Yeah. So Ralston is South Beach. The burrows is, like Malibu, I guess, if you want to consider it that way, or like Hollywood, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's she tells you it's somewhat of a rough area. That's where the majority of the crime that happens on Leviathan takes place. So she's not surprised that that's their staging area.
Okay, Captain, as you decide.
Yeah, I say we take our ship over to the burrows and just see if we can learn anything more about them. Maybe on the way to the burrows, we kind of ditch the whole ranger look and maybe try to look like, we need to look like the local, whatever they would look like. So, just employees, sounds like.
Sure.
Or just try to remain hidden. And
Any
spy.
janitor uniforms around here, ma'am?
Yeah, we have some worker uniforms that we can make available for you. Janitorial detail.
Sure, common clothes? Okay.
Yeah, common clothes is fine, yeah.
I carry those, Captain.
Sweet. You got that in Yeti size?
Well, let's see what we can do. And I don't know what we're going to do about the robot. Maybe he can become a waste disposal
You
unit.
don't need clothes.
Yeah, could. Put a sanitation sticker on him or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Hazmat.
True,
Okay.
true.
All right, so you want to head to the burrows?
Tell Beatbox he's a repair droid right now.
First chance I get, I'm going to shoot you in the face, T Prime.
Okay.
He has trank guns.
With tranquilizer darts.
So I whispered that into T Prime, like,
Okay. So you guys basically civvy up, dress in civilian style clothing and head to the
On the way.
burrows.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make it there. There are public pads and public shuttle storage. Some of the locals use shuttles to travel back and forth.
And we also need our operator numbers.
Oh yeah, so she provides you with sequential operator numbers. For convenience, I'm not going to make you memorize them, but they're
1, 2, 3, 4,
sequential.
5,
Yeah, something
6,
like
7,
that.
8, 9, and 10.
Sure, perfect. So you guys make it there, and you land on the and as you're kind of approaching the burrows, you see these tall buildings, kind of in these cubes where there's kind of a tall structure at each of the 4 points, and then a series of bridges that interconnect them. And there's so as you land on the pad, there's just a lot of activity, right? Just stuff going on. There's there's transport vehicles kind of traveling along tracks between each of these different structures. There's it's a large kind of sprawling metropolis area. So I guess a better way to describe it would be like the 5 boroughs of New York City, right? So you've got this huge kind of sprawling metropolis area that there are a series of vehicles and things like that that make up the surface traffic, and you land on the pad, and there's an elevator that'll take you down to street level.
Cool.
So
Let's go.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so you get down to street level, and and there's a bunch of there's a bunch of people kind of wandering the streets and stuff. There's the sounds of different vehicles, some jump sec vehicles patrolling the streets. And you guys are wandering around, and you notice right away that the atmosphere is heavy, almost as if like there's an air of oppression here. That not that JumpSec is overbearing, but there's a very present and visual. There's a very present and visual. Like crime underworld, right? So there's
I could hear, yeah.
so there's you see like drug deals going on the street. People are being
This is
attacked.
Camden, New Jersey. I get it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of where you are. So what do you guys want to do?
Buy some drugs.
Like, we'll fit right in. Hold on. Excuse me, sir. May I purchase some drugs? Thank
Look,
you.
I'm sure it could get us a +2 in something.
Try not to get rolled.
It depends on what drugs you buy. You might get a
Uppers.
-2 in
Drugs.
I
something.
just want drugs.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Where might I be able to find some drugs?
Here's some
One
condoms.
drug,
There you go.
please.
Give me $1,000.
You know what? Make that 2 drugs.
I actually have Streetwise, which kind of gives me a +2 to network with criminal elements. So I'm just gonna kind of walk the streets and.
Dude, don't
That's
buy
not-
drugs in this neighborhood. It sounds like the cops are on their way.
I hope
Yeah.
that's Siren's
No,
game.
they're paid off, I'm sure.
You're sure.
Basically, I get a +2 on common knowledge rolls pertaining to any kind of
think that's
disruptive
Mike
activities, and +2 for any kind of persuasion or intimidation checks made to network. So right now, I'm just kind of doing the friendly networking.
Oh, no grenades. Totally grenadeless networking.
Describe for me what friendly networking would be in this neighborhood, right? Like,
Drugs.
excuse
Oh, you
me,
just walk.
I'm looking for some criminals. Can any of you point me in the direction of some criminals?
I say you flip them a coin. That's pretty friendly.
No, just walking around the streets, asking questions, and
Buy
kinda
him a
getting
drink
feel for
somewhere, I'm
the
telling you.
lane.
Yeah. So you see a series of kind of what look like seedy, bars. There's some adult entertainment facilities. There's a a particular one that seems to cater to the to those that are into less humanoid species, right? So Aurochs and Yeti, and so there's a balcony with some scantily clad Yeti and Aurochs women on it. And Aurochs, for those that don't know, are kind of the centaur type race, so they're so that's what's going on there.
Oh, you know what's going on there.
Yeah,
4 hands to 4 legs.
that's right.
There is
Foreplay.
not Yeti sex in the champagne.
That's foreplay.
Do Yeti have an equivalent of champagne?
And scantily clad Yetis. I didn't know they were much clothing to begin with.
I didn't want to say anything, but does a naked Yeti expose really that much more than
No, but these are Yetis with like fishnet stockings.
Like
They've shaved their legs.
all the fur is gonna. Oh, they shave.
They
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Their legs are the only thing shaved. The rest of them is just bushy white fur. And
How does it work
shaved
over
legs.
there? I don't know.
And high heels.
Oh,
To decorative shapes.
place is a dive.
Yeah, no, kind of like a French poodle.
Like 2.5 foot high heels.
Little boots every so often up the leg.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah. So,
This is my new home. I
Stop.
like. Is there a place I could rent for $970 a month around here? Because this is my place.
Man, I knew I should have been a ranger.
We
We should have started playing this game here.
Yeah. I see no reason why we can't have this be our new thing. Are we contracted with Jump Corp? How does that all work out legally?
What do you think? You're just going to go into business here?
Let's say I get a head injury and I become one of those savants where suddenly I'm super good at being an artist. Can I just quit Jump Corp and go be an artist? Or am I contractually obligated to whatever?
These guys are still Jump Corps employees.
No, I'm a loyal Jump Corps employee. I'm just wondering what would happen if I
so the people that live here would be Jump Corp and Vestal, Vestal. Vestal is the company that runs the resorts. So you'd have Jump Corp people and you'd have Vestal people that live in the boroughs, and then you'd also have people who have moved here for one reason or another, or are have overstayed their visas, or are part of a there's a lot of construction that goes on as well, so you got a lot of construction people and engineering people and stuff like that all make their home in the boroughs, away from the resorts. The plains are very dangerous, right? There's a lot of so the boroughs is kind of a self-contained area that's designed to keep out the wildlife, and then Ralston is another kind of self-contained area. But then if you think about Alita and Borea, there are research and bioengineering facilities that are down there. So part of these people work at some of those places too, right? But this is where people would live that worked either at the resorts or somewhere else on the island. And then there is a significant enough criminal underworld, as I mentioned. So a lot of people move stuff through Leviathan.
Maybe, Kadora, you can go into that place and look and ask one of the ladies, give her some money, set it up like you're going to have a little session, but really see if she'll be able to help you find Ringar, or if she's seen others of your kind.
So as you're sitting there talking about it, you do see a Kalian woman walk out onto the balcony next to the RX and the Yeti. And, you know, she puts 2 arms on each of the other 2 and begins chatting them up. But you know, with the other 2 hands, she's kind of waving at people passing by on the street. This scene is reminiscent of like Bourbon Street in New Orleans. You know, just to give you a kind of a.
So
a
we're
mental
gonna
picture.
ask for beads?
No. I mean, so that's you know, that's a certain time of the year, but you know, just otherwise with, you know, where you've got restaurants that have like these balconies, you know, and then there's just a lot
French
of
Quarter.
yeah, it's like the French Quarter. So there's you know, there are signs and things up on the, you know, on the buildings, you know, advertising different things, you know, like restaurants and hotels and, you know, like Leviathan Cola, you know, which is the local carbonated beverage that they sell. You know, there's a picture of a dinosaur drinking a Leviathan Cola, you know, and that's kind of the slogan. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a city.
Cool. Well, if you guys want me to go undercover, that's fine.
That was
what do you want me
quick.
to What do you want me to find out?
If there's any human trafficking going on,
So
maybe
are
at Ringar.
you guys planning on staying in the Burrows tonight, or were you gonna go back to Ralston?
Well,
Well, we're looking for
the
this
meetup
group
was
to
tonight,
meet up. That
right?
was-
So
yeah,
we were going to
yeah.
at least go and
Cheaper.
for that. So if we can find a group meeting up, again, I want to use my streetwise to kind of ask around about the natural order. You know, maybe into some of the shadier areas.
Okay. So you see, kind of, you know, wandering down the street, you see some people that. Well, go ahead and give me. Everybody, give me a notice roll, if you would, and I'll tell you what you individually see. Okay. So, Rybax, you see, that there are a pair of people that are standing out front of what looks like some kind of a cinema or like a movie house of some kind, and you know, and they seem pretty shady. Like they seem like they're, you know, they're like talking in hushed tones, and you know, and one guy is like shifty, he's kind of looking around and stuff, you know, so that kind of catches your attention. Beatbox, you notice a man and a woman walking down the street, and the man's got his arm around the woman, and she's got a purse, you know, a small bag hanging from her shoulder, and a guy runs past and grabs the purse off of her shoulder and runs, you know, runs off into the runs off into the distance, and the man, you know, yells, "Stop! Wait!" and you see him take off. At T Prime, you see a couple of guys that you're pretty sure, and this is on the opposite side of the street, you're pretty sure that they're carrying weapons. They're doing a pretty poor job of concealing the weapons that they have. But they're on the opposite side of the street, kind of presumably headed into one of these, you know, adult establishments. And then yeah, and that's it. I mean, Kadura, you're kind of you're still hung up on the you know, on some of the signs and the Kalian woman that's up on the sidewalk.
Usual.
Yeah, my idea is trying to look out for, you know, all the Kalian women that I can see, but like the hotter she is, the more likely I'm going to be like, you know, that one seems like she probably has some connections to the underworld around here. We should talk to her.
She's like a 3.
Ugh.
Like she's like a Kalian 3.
Out of 3, right?
Right. Like the only way she could be less attractive to you is if she was missing an arm.
I thought Kalians go to 20 because
Hey, 3 arms is still more attractive than any human could possibly be.
She's had so you can see she clearly looks like she's had a rough life, and you suspect that maybe she has been using some pretty heavy drugs because her skin isn't like that vibrant blue color that you would expect it to be. It's kind of muted, and it's more gray, which is an indication that that somebody has been using drugs, has been using a lot of drugs. Yeah. Well, she's
all right.
She's past her prime for sure, but she looks like she's she's got the equivalent of Kaylee and meth mouth.
Not even once.
White lips.
Well, we know this guy has connections to, we know this guy is high up in human trafficking, but is he high up in drugs as well? That would make sense. But
to be,
Captain,
Captain,
one might lead us to the other.
Captain, I noticed those men going over into the what was it again that those guys trying to conceal weapons were heading into? The store.
It was an
adult place.
Something.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard to say. You think it's probably either like some kind of go-go bar or like maybe an adult video place. That's what it seems like.
It's a front. I think I should go take a look over there, Captain.
Yeah, what were they carrying?
Well, it seemed they were carrying weapons. So
Weapons? Man, I didn't see anything.
It's all right. That's why I'm letting you know. I figured point it out to you because they're either going in there to cause trouble, or they might be heading in. They might be part of the groups that we've been searching for.
All right. Well, let's go.
Well, let's not all try and power in there at once. That might be looking suspicious. Since I'm wearing regular clothes, I see if I can go in there and act like I'm, just looking for some, whatever's in there. Maybe I'm a buyer. I don't
looking
know.
for what?
Adult
What
films.
are you looking for?
Well, it sounds like it's either adult films or a bar. I'm not quite sure. It wasn't. It was described as it could be some one thing or the other. I'm just gonna go in there and check out what the business.
The only reason I described it that way is because it's it's a good enough distance away that you can't really you can't. That's just your presumption based on like the signage.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find out what that business is and what's going on in there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna head over there, Captain. I would suggest you maybe keep an eye on that building, and if I'm not out in relatively, let's say 5-10 minutes. No, give it 10 minutes.
Yeah, give me 10 minutes.
We do have comlinks, right?
Anybody have any napkins?
We have comlinks, right? We have comlinks.
Yeah, you guys have
I'll be able to
comlinks.
talk to you. All right, so I'll let you know once I'm in there what I see.
I'll be right
These
back.
tips.
And exactly what this business does.
Yeah. Just make sure you mute it during the the loud parts. I'm gonna network on the street for another 10 minutes then.
Okay.
Well, just see if anybody else comes in there behind me, and try and notice if they're carrying weapons, please, Captain.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, I'm really good at that.
So JT, either give me a persuasion or a taunt roll. And the reason why I'm asking for it is, if you're going to try to network on the street, what I want to see is, are you going to try to persuade somebody to give you information, or are you going to try to intimidate them into giving you information? So, we'll go ahead and go ahead and do that whenever you want. But T Prime, let's go ahead and roll with this. So you get your napkins and your jergens, and you head into the adult entertainment place, trying to blend in as best as you can.
Sure.
As a normal customer. So as you approach the door, you see you see another gentleman kind of entering the door, just ahead of you. He's heavy set. He wears just a white kind of t-shirt, or what you presume at some point was a white t-shirt, but it is heavily stained by condiments and food. And he's got very significant like sweat rings under his armpits. And as you guys approach the door, he kind of bumps you a little bit. And he gives you a kind of this sorry as he walks by. And as he walks by, you get the smell of body odor to a degree to which you've never experienced in your life. You would presume that this guy may be some kind of construction worker or something, but clearly he hasn't bathed in quite a while. So he kind of pushes through the door and makes no attempt to hold it for you, and makes his way inside. And the door almost closes in your face. But
so hard to find good help these days.
You grab it and pull it open, and as you pull it open, you realize that the lighting inside is relatively dim. So the lighting inside is relatively dim, and now that you can get a good look, you can see that this is it's kind of an unusual place, right? So part of it is what appears to be a bar, and then part of it is like a toys and novelties store, right? And then to the rear is what looks like an area where there are like video booths or something like that.
Is this your first time? They're usually those are up in the front and the bars in the back. 'Cause that's where the actual takes place. I kind of grew up in these places in New York City. They're rampant before Giuliani. I can tell you, it's the way things were. But yeah, I can sense that this place is something that it's a sex den, right? It's obviously not just a up in front video parlor. It's probably got women who are doing business in here as well. And kind of how many people are in here?
There's probably about a dozen that you've seen, so like the bar area, there's probably about 6 or so, browsing the novelties.
Can I see where the guys that I had noticed?
Yeah, they seem to be. So there's a counter in the novelties section, and they're standing at the counter talking with the person working at the counter.
What does the person at the counter look like? Race?
He is humanoid, human of some kind, some descendancy of human. He has very dark hair. He has kind of tan skin, almost black hair, tan skin, and he's got a very distinct like cut mark across his chin. Scar. Sorry, from under his eye, all the way back to under his ear. It kind of comes down and then loops around to his ear.
Okay. He didn't pay one of the women once, obviously. Okay. So these men are just talking. I'm not going to go. Can I kind of get close enough pretending I'm looking at these objects, the novelty area, to maybe overhear this conversation?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a notice roll.
Sure thing.
All right. So
love alertness.
Yeah, so the guy behind the counter, is so first and foremost, he's visibly nervous. Second, the two guys that are standing in front of the counter, one of them is specifically asking for money. and that, you know, basically he's saying that, you know, that this guy's got to pay up, and, you know, and the guy behind the counter is saying, you know, it's been a slow week. I don't really have anything. Ever since the you know, ever since the terrorist stuff, people have stopped spending their money. I can't give you the 5. I can only give you 2. And the second guy, not the guy who was speaking originally, the second guy is noticeably larger. Appears to be, I don't know. It's hard to tell from the back. But he appears to be, you know, he's considerably larger. But you think that maybe he is, some type of, species other than human. Because he, you know, he kind of reaches across and he's wearing a jacket, and he's got big gloves on, and he reaches over and he grabs the guy by the front of his shirt and he pulls him across the counter in front of the other guy. And the guy with the scar is just, you know, at this point he's basically crying, you know.
Sure.
And the other guy says to him, the number is 5, Johnny. 5, not 2, not 3, 5.
6 is right out.
Yes. And he pushes the guy back, and he kind of crashes into a display case, and falls to the ground. And, you know, and he scrambles back to his feet, and he pulls open the register, and he pulls seemingly everything out of the register, and he goes, just take it and get out. And you know, and so the you know, the one guy, the bigger guy, you know, kind of puts his hand to his side, and you I mean, you recognize this, like he is basically just getting his hand on his pistol, right? And the other guy next to him, he kind of throws up his his jacket a little bit, adjusts his collar, takes the money, kind of fans it out, looks at it. He goes, Johnny, why do we have to keep doing this every couple of weeks? You know you gotta pay. You know what happens when you don't pay. Why do you make me come down here? And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. He says, you're damn right it won't. Next time I have to come down here, me and my friend, we're going to just torch the place. All right? So let's make sure you got my money next week. He said, okay, no problem.
So he sounds like he's the boss.
No problem, Jingo. He's like, and he turns to him, and like as soon as he says the name Jingo, let me go ahead and type that in the chat for you. As soon as he says the name Jingo, right? The other guy, the guy next to him, pulls his pistol, and the guy, the guy next to him says, I told you never to use my name. You address me as sir. And he's like, I'm sorry. It just slipped. I'm sorry. And the other guy, you hear a much deeper voice, and you don't see his face, but you hear a much deeper voice that says, "Should I do him?" And the guy, now Jingo, right, says, "Nah, it's too fucking messy. Too many people here. You fucked up, Johnny. You fucked up big time. Next week it's a K. You understand? Not 5. It's a K." So again, I don't want to hear any stories. I'll see you in a week. And and he like pushes all the shit off the counter, and they go out a side door, presumably into an alley. And you see the guy Johnny there, and he's just like, he was tan, Now he's almost white. Like, you know, you could see the fear on his face. And then the other patrons in the store are just like, during this whole exchange, you know, just like you, they kind of got wrapped up in this whole thing. And they were trying their hardest to like keep browsing, but like, you know, but got caught up in this whole exchange. So that's what you see.
Okay.
So I mean, you recognize this, you know, kind of with your background and stuff. I mean, this was your old-fashioned shakedown.
Yeah.
These guys were collecting, you know, protection money. So you presume this guy
a street
Jingo,
cop.
this guy Jingo is some kind of, you know, mid-level enforcer, maybe. You know, mafia terms. You know, your typical made man. You know, who was pissed off because he had to go out. You know, he had to go out and collect the money himself.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had to come out, and that's what set me off. All right, and as they left, I pick up a random sundry item from this section I was standing in and head over to the counter to talk to Johnny.
So what item exactly do you pick up?
I don't really notice. I don't care.
Let's provoke Jingo instead.
Something I'm sure Kadora will find
Yeah.
interesting.
All right. So you go.
Anything edible.
So you go.
Whatever.
You go up to the counter, and you put your item on the counter, and you know, and Johnny.
I call him. Yep.
Sorry, you put your item on the counter. Sorry, you call him what?
Hey Johnny, I see you getting problems with the Jingo. Maybe if you tell me,
He goes. Yeah, you shouldn't have seen that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. He says, all right, what do we got here?
hold on.
Oh.
Hold on, Jingo.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. I'm not interested in this. And I just kick it off to the side. I go, maybe I can help you out. Of your problem.
He says, well, I mean, before you do that, I mean, we got a 2-for-1 deal on the strawberry flavored anal lube.
Sorry, my friends across the street aren't interested. However,
Wait, deal on anal lube?
do you
It's
know?
2-for-1.
I'm here on the mic. Here, I
Buy
got
one,
my
get
comm
one.
link. I got my comm link. Is Kadora chiming in? I'm sorry. What was that?
Get some of the anal lube.
I'm sorry. I'm all out of credits for that stuff. It's pretty expensive here. I
Well,
had to go through a lot.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Sorry. What? So you were saying?
Yeah. Maybe we can help you out. And I kind of motioned to him. I'm like, seems like you're in debt to them for some money. But and they're gonna be back before you know it.
Everybody in the neighborhood pays Jingo. If you don't pay
Now,
Jingo, you can't open a business down here. You know, Jingo, you know, his people will just burn you out. You either pay or you die. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's usually the way it is. Why don't you tell me where his operations are? Maybe I can pay him a visit. Maybe I'll handle your fee for you. Take care of it.
Well, I mean, look, I don't need any trouble, man. You know, I mean, Jingo doesn't mess around.
If he comes back looking for his money, you're gonna have nothing but trouble. Now, what would you rather have? You already have trouble. And he looks at the mess around the counter and everything.
But this is a manageable trouble. The trouble that you're talking about, I mean, there's no going back. There's no going back.
Yeah, well, you're going to keep going forward with this? Because eventually you're only going to lose. And now you're in for double.
Look,
you have a choice, Johnny.
Look, here's what I'll say, okay? You know, if Jingo disappeared and, you know, and I didn't have to pay that money every week, would I be sad? No. But, you know, but you didn't hear from me that Jingo runs his operation out of Scalzo's.
That's all I need to know. Keep your 2-for-1. You're gonna need it.
You know what? You know, look, maybe it'll come in handy when you're dealing with Jingo. You know.
Nah, I don't think so. I got Teflon rounds. They'll go right through. We don't need any Vaseline.
Actually, I did sell Jingo. Well, one of Jingo's guys, anyway. A device made out of Teflon. That
What was that? A weapon? Or
I
a
mean,
toy?
it depends on your perspective, right? So, I mean, it was it was kind of shaped like a fist. You know, I guess he was
Sure.
trying to use it to punch people.
That might be what he's doing. I don't know. I don't really want to worry. All I know is I'm going to take care of these guys once and for all.
Okay. All right. Well, look, you didn't hear it from me, and I never saw you. So so if this thing goes the wrong way, I I'm out.
Just keep your mouth quiet. And I got another question.
You see how
You ever
good I
hear
am at that?
somebody called? You ever hear somebody called Ringar?
Oh, yeah. Ringar's the big boss. That's the guy That's the guy that Jingo works for.
Ah, Scalzos.
And what about Ringo?
No, never heard of him.
Oh.
So Ringar, does he work out of Scalzar?
Scalzo?
Scalzo. Sorry.
Well, no. Scalzo's is well, they call it a repair shop, but they, I don't know how much repairing they do. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. How many
So
men
things
do you
go
have?
missing, and mysteriously,
Sure.
they have replacements available at Scalzo's.
Okay. And you know that Jingo works up for Ringar. But
Well,
you're
I mean,
not-
everybody works for Ringar.
Where is he at?
I don't know. Look, if Ringar shows up where you are,
All right.
it's
Never mind.
That's just a
I'm
bad
sure
day.
Jingo will be talking to him pretty soon.
All right. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and break because we're at time. So first and foremost, thank you all for joining us. Had a great time tonight. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, please do hit that follow button. Really means a lot to us. We appreciate it. So with that, everybody say good night. Good night, crew. And we will
good
see
night.
you guys all
Good night,
next
everybody.
week.